The month of February begins much like the way the month of January began, and that is we're basically in the northern plains cold and dry. We've had a few excursions of warmer weather. In fact, the month of January mostly was above average by a little bit because the warm days offset the cold. But we started off the month cold, and we're starting off the month of February with some cold weather and some mostly dry weather. Yeah, there'll be some little snows here and there, but not containing a whole lot of moisture. The interesting thing that is happening right now, and it's significant in terms of plains weather, is that the southern part of the United States is starting to get pretty dry. Let me take you back to the fall. We had severe drought ongoing in Montana, and western parts of North Dakota. It's pretty dry over much of the northern plains, but especially the west. And as we went through the fall season, things improved slightly. Eastern Dakotas, Iowa remain quite dry back in Montana. Now, over the course of the wintertime, things don't change very much in the northern plains because the ground is frozen. Doesn't matter how much snow falls because none of it has a chance to soak in. That's not the situation down south. And sure enough, down in the southern plains, it has been gradually getting drier, especially through December and January. And the drought is starting to look in the Texas Panhandle the way it was in western North Dakota last year. So we have a pretty good drought going on down in the southern plains. It'll be interesting to see if that pans out. My suspicion is it will stay down there, dry down there for at least a while. Weather pattern for the time being, ridge of high pressure along the Pacific, trough of low pressure around a deep low near Hudson Bay, which means it's going to be fairly cold this week across the northern plains, Great Lakes region, and it will continue to be quite warm out along the western part of the country. In fact, some of this just downright hot down in the southwest. There will be some days not quite as cold as other, but the general trend here is cold. Some moderation by the time we get to a look at the weekend. That won't last very long as the jet slips back to the west a little bit, then comes east. By sometime around or a little after Valentine's Day, we may actually get a bit of a northern plains warm-up. Precipitation, it's going to be scant, little quick shower systems passing through, maybe a few scattered light flurries here and there this week, and maybe an inch or two or three in some spots, but I don't expect a lot of widespread heavy snow into the northern plains at all. That's just not looking very likely at all, although there may be enough little systems that will at least get the ground primarily covered up once again over the plains region. And as we move ahead to the second week of the forecast, which takes us through about Valentine's Day, it's not looking like it's really going to be significantly wetter, though there will be a few chances of little snow, mostly cold. And keep an eye on the southern plains, that winter wheat part of the country. Oklahoma, the Texas Panhandle area, it's looking like it's going to stay dry for the foreseeable future.